I can wait. Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Woman's Touch review. This is a movie that recently came out a few months back from 2024. It's an American horror comedy, film directed by Zelda Williams, the late Robin Williams' daughter, in her feature-length directorial debut, and written by Diablo Cody. But I'll get to that. The film stars Katherine Newton, who I met at Comic Con last year. She's adorable. Got Cole Sprouse and Liza Soberano. Yeah, I'll get to her too. Henry Eikenberry, Joe Charest, Crest, and Carla Gugino in a small role. And that is Lisa Frankenstein. hmm This was a surprise. I can see why this movie didn't do well at the box office. They released it in February when it was cold, and the horror movies usually do better in the fall, like September, October. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, and it's not going to be for everybody. If you're not an '80s kid, usually, or know about the '80s, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of references here. I do because I was around in 1989. The plot follows a misunderstood teen goth girl who meets and develops a relationship with a reanimated Victorian era corpse, played by Cole Sprouse. Cody stated that Lisa Frankenstein is set in the same fictional universe as Jennifer's Body. It does feel like that. A lot of the dialogue and the tone feels like that, and it looks like a Tim Burton movie at times. Like the opening crawls, looks like a Tim Burton movie from the early '80s, the mid to late '80s, and the early '90s. Because at times it looks like Edward Scissorhands or Beetlejuice or something like that, or even the '89 Batman. With the tone that is very dark. Like this movie is not a slapstick comedy. It's more like like an Evil Dead movie than a because that had reanimated corpses as well, instead of a like a goofy comedy like Scary Movie or something like that. But yeah, the movie cost 13 million. The budget's on the screen. It's not a lot of CGI. It's some of it, but it's not too much of that. And it's an hour and 41 minutes with the end credits. Without it's like 134. It's pretty short. See, another movie in 2024 that's not 2 hours, which is great because you don't need it. Sometimes 2 hours is too much. Is a lot to ask for some people. And it only made 9. This is going to be one of those movies that becomes a cult Halloween movie every year or on Valentine's Day. The goths are going to love this. Yeah, it came out in February the 9th, like before Valentine's Day. So, and hijinks ensue. But Cole and Katherine Newton, they commit in these roles. Katherine, it plays the lonely girl and emo girl, really well. And Cole Sprouse doesn't say anything until the end of the film, and he commits just with his eyes and his expressions on his face. He's just so good. And the one standout in this movie that I'd never heard of, this is the first time I've seen her, is Liza Soberano as Taffy, Lisa's kind yet slightly oblivious stepsister. This is her, guys. Take a look. She is absolutely gorgeous. I know, she's Asian, of course she's gonna be gorgeous, but she has one of those faces that it's just so gentle and nice and clean and smooth, and she has beautiful dark hair. You know that what that does to me. Gal knows. But yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Love her character as Taffy, and that's a name that fits her because she's sweet as Taffy, and she cries like a Disney princess, which is nice. With the hands on the face and sobbing. Yeah, I think that's cute. The guy that plays Michael, where's his name? It's so distracting. He looks just like Brad Pitt. It's so scary. I thought Brad Pitt had a son or something that looked like that. I was like, he looks like a mix of like Brad Pitt and Carl Urban if you mix them together. I'm like, dude, why do you look like Brad Pitt? Even the way he talks, he sounds like Brad Pitt. Yeah, Henry Eikenberry. I've never heard of him. He's a new actor. Carla Gugino's always gorgeous, as always. I mean, she's been beautiful since the '90s, guys. Come on. She's going to be at Comic Con this year, but I'm missing her because she's going Saturday. She's Janet. She's the stepmother who's a complete biatch. Of course, you knew that. You got Joey Bree Harris as Tamara, Michael's friend. You have Jenna Davis as Lori, Taffy's best friend. So there's some diversity here, but it's not forced. They're up in the suburbs of where is it at? Is it like 1989? But where's the location at? They filmed it, I think, in Louisiana. That's why it's like the countryside. It's not It's not a major city like New York. I know that for sure. But yeah, it's done. The makeup effects are well done. It's funny. The soundtrack is hit and miss, but it's a lot of 80s stuff. Mainly, "Can't Fight This Feeling" is a great song. I love that song so much. But there's one song that's butchered because there's a horrible murder in it and they're during it. And I'm not gonna say what happens because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube because something horrific happens. I'll just say that in the third act of the movie, what happens to Michael. And this is not a kids movie, so don't let it's PG-13. No, not a kids movie. You have someone getting their hand cut off. You have people getting thrown into a pit. You got people getting clonked on the head. Yeah, again, I'm not going to spoil too much, but yeah, don't show this to your kids. This could traumatize them for life. And it got a mixed reaction. Not a great reaction, but it's still better than Madam Web. An affectionate callback to classic comedies of the 80s. Lisa Frankenstein can be fun in its own right, despite not quite measuring up to those movies. No, it doesn't measure up because it's PG-13, but it's not horrible. I've seen horror comedies. I didn't even smile. Like, there was this one with a demon lady. I think it was like the Killer Pad. Yeah, that was horrible. I didn't laugh or smile. There's some sexy women in it, but it wasn't enough. Here, Catherine is beautiful and she can act and carry the movie as the lead female. And the other girls like Liza and Carla and all these other girls can act too. And they're they're not normal because Diablo Cody. That's one problem I have with the movie. Diablo Cody's script is hit and miss. Either you're gonna like her her writing, or you're gonna hate it because she wrote Juno and Jennifer's Body and this, and I'm like, yeah. And she writes some references that are funny, but then there's sometimes she writes a joke that's kind of sexist, like, "Oh, you're flat chested." I'm like, that wasn't needed. That was not needed. Is she the worst writer? Oh God, no. She's nowhere near as bad as the writer Katie Silverman, who wrote Booksmart, and none of the guys have personality in that. But here the female characters are well written as most of it. Some of the dialogue is iffy, but again, it's harking back to the 80s. They use a lot of 80s vernaculars and things like that, and it looks like an 80s film. Nobody's on the cell. There's no computers. There's no laptops. There's no tablets. There's no smart TVs. It's all stuff from back in the 80s. CRTV, radio, a record player, a piano. It's good stuff. It's just fine. This won't make my top 10 of the year, but it's an honorable mention at least because I think the two leads have great chemistry. They act well together. They have they have a spark, and there's surprisingly a lot of heart in the third act. I was not expecting in a horror comedy like this. And it's shot beautifully. And I know I would say give Catherine a franchise, but she's already in a franchise. She's in the MCU. She's going to be Stature in the next Avengers movie, hopefully Secret Wars or Doomsday. She'll be back. Not an Ant-Man 4 because it flopped, but she deserves a hit. Guys, she hasn't had a hit in a while. It's sad because during the pandemic, Quantumania flopped. This flopped. Even Abigail flopped. It's sad because she's really capable, and I know she can do a hit movie on her own. I know she can do it. People got to give her another chance. Because Detective Pikachu was a hit, and Freaky also did pretty well when that came out. But before the pandemic, people were giving movies a chance. Now they're like, I'm very selective. Well, I didn't see this in theaters, but I saw it on Amazon Prime. And as a female lead I like, that's been the theme of this. I do themes for women that I actually want to see on screen. You're never going to see a movie with the hobo here because she's banned from my channel. I'm never going to talk about her again. I don't want to. She's done enough damage to me. But Catherine is a better looking actress, and she's good in nearly everything I've seen her in. So I say see it for her and Cole. They have the chemistry. They carry the film. They make me laugh. They're interesting, even though they're doing horrific acts of violence. But it is what it is. So see it for yourself if you have Amazon Prime. It's worth a stream at least. So thanks for watching. Take care, acknowledge me, and I'll see you in the next one.